Good morning, welcome to Morning Outlook. This is Kim speaking on Friday the 24th of May. There's not that much to do today. I'm looking at some of these markets had huge turnarounds yesterday. There's no fundamental logic in some of this. The French and Germany, you put data out, and Europe as a whole put data out that was its worst for a long time. But it's bounced, and that's the craziness. Trying to put logic into markets doesn't always work. However, it does in the long term. But we've seen this rally coming through into this market. Maybe it's got some more to go, but really I'm just sort of sitting here on some of these markets. I'm going to just go straight down to the alley here and looking for potentially the downside. So what am I looking for? Well, simply, if I can get this to work, there we go. Simply make breakdowns. That may be that I need to wait until this pushes all the way back through here, which is not far anyway, so don't. But it's got a daily pivot underneath, which is a draw. If it pushes on further up, I'm going to come back to that daily. Well, we've got some possible resistance back into those into the 50, although it has been tested a couple of times, and some may argue it's got more in it to the upside. The fundamentals would kill it in the end. It is a disastrous currency, and okay, Trump's doing his best to devalue the US dollar, but either way, this will roll again at some point. But for now, maybe it's got a bit more legs in it. But there we go. We'll see. I'm really looking for opportunities on the sell side there. A pound, well, it's not too dissimilar at the moment with the problems going on. Fundamentally, it's a lot more solid than many of these currencies. Just coming down to the alleys here, but again, well, daily pivot untouched below, double top where we're sitting at the moment ish, or just broken through that a little bit. We'll see. It could push up further. It could go up to its R1, those previous highs there, which would make it look quite bullish, maybe for next week, falling through, because I know you technical traders out there, inverted head and shoulders sitting in there, so there is that possibility. It depends what it really does today. If it starts selling off, I'm really going to be jumping in on the bandwagon on the sell side. I was looking yesterday, waiting for it to go. It eventually went yesterday, but what with one thing and another, it pushed back up there. But we'll see. It's at some point I'm looking at the, and probably as simple as just driving. There's me thinking of getting in the car already. Maybe that's what I should be doing. This morning, just looking for a breakdown around about here. So just looking for that breakdown. Yes, it's got the daily pivot below, may give it some support, but if it starts breaking beyond that, then I'd be looking back to these lows again. Right, okay, that's the pound. Yen's suggesting weakness. It pushed through and stronger against the US dollar yesterday. It's not, well, it may still do it, but it hasn't yet followed through as the euro and the pound has. So it suggests weakness. Maybe that may be the opportunity for the upside, back towards its daily pivot there. Not great deal of, there's about 25 pips in it, maybe, but maybe less if you just wait for the trend break there. But that may give the bit of move, and that may push on through to the key moving averages 34 or 50. Right, I've given you over 30 pips. Aussie dollar is not much to do here. There's weakness through. Not so sure why that sold off at 2 o'clock there. Must be a good reason for it, but anyway, haven't got that to hand. Maybe the bickering regarding China, but either way, again, I drew a trend line on here. Break of that looks weak to me, and we could see further downside. It's fundamentally still weak, so looking, there's the potential on the Aussie. Canadian dollar looks weak because of the it did quite well yesterday, pushing back up to the, sorry, I'll come back to dailies on here, pushing back up to the top of the range here, but with oil prices coming off, it never managed to, well, that was the cause of that, sorry. So today, whereas everything else gained up against the US dollar, the Canadian dollar lost against the Canadian dollar. So as with the yen, there's one of the more weaker pairs there. So it could be that today you just look at one of those stronger pairs against one of those weaker ones, and you may get something that moves quite nicely, or they may both just implode. Okay, so that's Canadian dollar. I'll look at the S&Ps very briefly. So S&P sold off today. I think there might be some follow through of this at some point. Whether it will happen right now, it's rallied through the Asian session here, but I'm looking quite closely just simply at that 60-minute 8 moving average or trend line across the lows there. If it starts breaking through that, well, that suggests there's further downside potential with the E-minis. So that's where we are. News-wise today, retail sales out for 9:30 for the UK and core durables. So not a lot today. As I said, I think we might see the potential to see some reversals, but if we don't see them happening and it continues, well, it just makes me wait until Monday before I place that trade. But there's not too much that I'm feeling about backing against the US dollar at the moment. So have a great day. Bye for now.